I would like to talk about what do you do after reading the script for the first time? As an actor, do you sometimes get overwhelmed about where to start right after the first time you read a play or a screenplay? In this video, I will share 5 practical steps that you can take to set things in motion without becoming overwhelmed. So, you got the job. Congratulations. You've just turned the last page of your new script. Maybe it's a screenplay, maybe it's a full-length play, or maybe it's just a short scene. Hopefully you're really excited. You might be buzzing with all these different questions. Either way, you just crossed the threshold of your first read. So this is where the real work begins. For an actor, the first read is not just about understanding the plot. It begins the process of how you are going to bring this character and this world to life. But what comes next? How do you move from a gut reaction to a finished performance? What are the first things that you should do to not get ahead of yourself, but to stay on track with the artistic process? Because ultimately, that's what acting is, especially when we understand acting as an art form. We have to be able and willing to walk around in the dark for a while as we learn about our character and learn about how we are going to connect to the character. In art, you definitely don't want to get stuck in right or wrong thinking or jump too quickly into memorizing your lines before you had enough time to digest and to reflect on the different aspects of your character as well as the drama. So, step number 1 after your first read is to pause and reflect. Resist the urge to dive in and start to try to memorize your lines. Instead, pause. Let yourself sit with the story. The great American theater director Harold Clurman, in his famous book called On Directing, talks about the process as a director that he goes through after he reads the play for the first time. He sits down and writes in his journal just first impressions, just things that he felt. He's not trying to break down the characters yet. He's not trying to force his way into figuring out what his inspiration is for directing the play. He just absorbs the play and writes down all of his first impressions, almost like a stream of consciousness. I always loved this, and I feel like something like that can really serve you as an actor. It's not just a director's tool, but something that you can do as an actor after you read the script for the first time. Quietly sit with your journal, sit with your emotions and your senses and what you felt after reading the piece, and start to write your first impressions. Some of the things you can ask yourself: what was my emotional response to the story? Which characters stood out to me and why? What questions do I still have about the plot or the themes? Your immediate reaction offers pure insight. It also holds a mirror up to your instincts, your initial take on the tone, the stakes, the rhythm. These are extremely valuable benchmarks to revisit later, especially after you've gone further down the road in the process of rehearsal, and sometimes things dry up and you lose touch with your initial gut reaction, and this might provide you with valuable information about what inspires you about the material, and then maybe even about your character. Step number 2, zoom out. In other words, understand the big picture. So before you start really zeroing in on your character's arc, make sure you understand the broader context. For example, what's the genre? What are the circumstances? What is the conflict? What kind of world is the story set in? For example, is it realistic? Is it surreal? Is it historical? Is it stylized? This macro level understanding of the material can help you make choices, and choices that support the tone and the world of the piece. It also helps keep your performance in harmony, either in harmony with the ensemble or in harmony with the director's vision. Step number 3, identify your character's role in this story. Now it's time for you to focus on your character. Determine the purpose of your character in the narrative. Are they the protagonist? Are they the antagonist? What do they want? What are they going after? And what's standing in their way? What is the character's need? What is unfulfilled? And how does that drive them in the drama? What are the major turning points for the character in the storyline? Map out the arc, the emotional arc, scene by scene. Where does it begin? Where does it go? And then where does it resolve? Step number 4, make a list of questions. A good actor does not pretend to know everything. They ask smart questions. Create a list of questions that you might solve on your own after investigating and digesting the material for a period of time. It might be stuff that you could ask your director or your fellow actors. So a few examples of smart questions might be, why does my character make this choice in Act 2 of this play? In terms of this relationship that they have with this other character, what is that history? What is that about? Or what is going on underneath the surface of this scene? It doesn't feel like what my character is saying is actually what they feel on a deeper level. So I need to investigate that more as I do more research and as I digest the play. So your questions are a great way for you to begin the process without feeling like you have to have everything solved and that you have to have the right answer all the time. Part of being an artist is letting yourself live in the mystery and in the unknown. Back to Harold Clurman, he said that when you're thinking about what the theme of the play is, it's not necessarily important that you answer that question before you begin your performances. You might never answer it. And he said that there was a time when there's a certain play that they did that he was directing. They stayed in the question about what is this play about, and they didn't answer that until maybe 2 weeks before they opened in front of an audience. Step number 5, begin research and world building. Even if the script is fictional or abstract, understanding the context is everything. So depending on the piece, this could include reading about a certain historical period. It's kind of amazing that 2010 is actually considered a historical period now. The 1990s are considered a period. If a piece takes place in a certain period of time, it's important to study the dynamics in society that might be relevant to the character's life or the character's occupation, and researching what those things involve. So these 5 steps are only the beginning. The most important thing about these first steps is to know that there's no right answer or magic formula to beginning your artistic process. In the spirit of process, these first steps are not about solving anything monumental. It's about opening the door to being in a process. After your first read, you've just done that. You've just opened the door. So the next steps are about exploration, rehearsal, experimentation, trial and error, banging your head up against the wall to try to figure out why my character says this particular line. Every project is different. Every new character is different. Don't feel like you have to know all the answers right away. Let your curiosity be your guide. Be generous with your imagination and meticulous with your craft. The bottom line is, enjoy the journey of discovering not only your character, but the part of yourself that you're opening up to bring them to life. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. Click on the description below for links to our website, as well as our free weekly newsletter. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.